What's up, Epic 7? TristenWulf here, bringing you an expedition video for this rotation. That's right, July's been a busy month. I'm sure you guys realize that. It's been a little crazy around here, so I'm a little bit late on this video, but this is going to be the rotation for July and for August. So let's jump in, talk about the teams. This rotation, we're facing off against the Destructive Gigantus, the Brutal Ferris, and the Blooming Snaglich. We're going to start out with the Blooming Snaglich because this is the one that everybody asks me. Is like, hey, Tristan, is there a new team? Is there any improvements with all the new units that have come out? Is there anything that makes Blooming Snaglich easier to farm? And the answer is, well, no, it's still the same old team. But while we're doing the fight, I will go over with alternate units for every single member of this team, as well as all the other teams. So we'll save that for during the fight. So if you're curious what a substitution is, just watch the fight and we'll talk about each one in turn. But right now, this has been the best, cleanest, fastest team I've been able to put together. First in the front is Fire Cecilia. She is best in slot. It's like she was made for this fight. You want to run her fast. I think north of 230 speed. If you can get her there, if you're a little slower, that's okay, but the faster the better. You really want Cecilia to cycle her turns as quickly as possible because she is our immunity spammer, and success in this fight hinges on you being able to maintain your immunities so you don't get poisoned, because you're going to have a hard time staying ahead of the healing if you're constantly wearing poisons. I've got her on just an artifact to help boost the team's damage a little bit. If you can't build her tanky enough to survive, just put her on any kind of a knight artifact that reduces incoming damage, Proof of Valor, Sword of Azera, whatever you got. I've got her on her number 2 exclusive equipment. This adds a slow debuff to the boss, and if you have been around expeditions before, you know that slow debuff and speed buff are the two most important buffs next to defense break for expeditions for clearing fast. She wants 85% effectiveness. The boss has 100 effect resistance, minus absolute resistance is 85. So 85% your best chance. And why do you want the effectiveness on her? Well, she has a defense break on her S1 skill, and it's a 75% chance to defense break when decrease attack is in place, and she's got decrease attack on her S2 skill. And of course, the immunity is huge, and the barrier helps keep her alive. And that's it. That's all you got to put together for Cecilia. Next is a unit everybody should have, so I don't know why we do need to discuss substitutions for. It's Mercedes. In a perfect world, a destruction set or a rage set would probably be better, but the counter set's nice. Every little bit helps. You want her on the Magic for Friends artifact. Her speed doesn't matter that much, but you don't want her base speed. You want her to take some turns. I would say the 150 to 200 range is ideal. Pump the rest into damage and give her just a little bit of bulk so she doesn't die to a sneeze. Next, we're going to go into Bomb Model Kana. Bomb Model Kana is free through the connections. So if you haven't done her connection mission yet, you want to get it. Now, Bomb Model Kana only works if you have the Bloodstone artifact. You only need a plus 15 one, but if you don't have this artifact, you should pick it up from your selector tickets. It is a tour de force important PvE artifact. Everybody needs at least one, so make sure you use one of your artifact selectors getting from this anniversary event on a Bloodstone just to put on Kana. If you don't have Bloodstone, I'll go over an alternate unit that will take care of you. As for her exclusive equipment, I'm going on her number 2 EE just to give a 5% additional chance for the dual attacks. And as for speed, you want her to take turns. She's spamming a speed buff. She's doing damage. She is our healer. Try to keep her north of 200 speed. I got mine at 225. I got her at 82% effectiveness. 85 is cap. But so I'm a little bit shorter effectiveness, but let's talk about her effectiveness, right? Her S3 doesn't do anything you need effectiveness for. Her S1 doesn't do anything you need effectiveness for. The only place that her effectiveness is needed is her chance to strip on her S3, her chance to dispel one buff. So it's a chance to strip the attack buff off of the boss. It's not that big of a deal. If you can't get enough damage on her to have Bloodstone, a damage scaling healing artifact. This is based on the damage she does, is what the healing is. So you want to make sure she does enough damage to have appreciable heals. Then just sack the effectiveness. Don't worry about the strip. It's not that big of a deal. Dump the effectiveness, pump the rest into damage or speed, whatever it takes to make her be a solid healer for your team. And last is your flex pick. I'm going to run Ball and Cezanne. That's right. Ball and Cezanne. Don't worry, we'll discuss alternatives for him, but Ball is best in slot for this. Every single attack he has is a multi-target hit, so every single attack he does stupid damage. He's got a defense break on his S3, a decreased speed on his S2. That's 2 units that defense break, 2 units that apply slow. That's what makes this team so consistent. His S2 skill does a boatload of damage. Even if you don't have it mullet out, this skill hits so damn hard, and if you mullet it out, it hits like a truck. And his S1, although you can't inflict poisons, it still hits hard, and it's a 2-target hit. As for stats, try to keep them in the 180 to 200 speed range. Mine's at 212. We're going into an earth elemental enemy, so you only need 85% crit chance. Again, you want that 85% effectiveness. He is a defense breaker and a slow spammer, so don't skimp on the effectiveness. Focus on effectiveness first, speed second, damage third. I've got him on Etika Scepter to increase the chance of him resetting his skill cooldowns each turn and spamming his S2 and S3 more often. Those are his big money hits. You could also run Prophetic Candlestick or just a damage boosting artifact. Even slapping Caladra on him to ramp his damage up would work. As for an exclusive equipment, I got him on his number 3 EE to increase the defense break and slow debuff on his S3 by 5 additional percent. Makes him a little bit more efficient. And as for a Guardian, I mean, everybody's doing this on auto, so you might as well load Crom Cruise in there because you don't get to use him anywhere else in the game. So give the guy a little bit of time to hang out on a team. All right, let's jump into this fight and go over the details and what units can replace the ones we have right here. All right, Cecilia goes first. She applies immunity to the entire team, and that's important. That's going to keep us from getting poisoned. Kana does her S3. This will apply a speed buff to the entire team. Now we're zooming. Ball's going to use his S3. This will apply a defense break and a speed down on the Lich. Well, no speed down. We got 15%. Another attack buff coming out of Mercedes. So now everybody's attack buff, speed buff, defense break slow. There's that strip I was talking about from Bomb Model Kana. Took the attack buff away from the boss.
Obey me. Obey me.
Okay, so let's talk about substitutions while this team chews away. Well, actually, first, let me go over the mechanics. You see the number sign over top of that crystal? Now it's got 5 skill null rounds. Every time you tag the crystal, the skill null goes down a notch. On the 5th hit, the skill null goes away, and when you hit it after the skill null's gone, it applies an antidote to your entire team. Let me pause it here. I'll show you that antidote. So we'll reapply our immunity here. There we go. Right there. Applies the antidote. And you see the antidote's right here. The immunization. Sorry, not antidote, immunization. And it protects you from the neurotoxin. You see, when the boss takes his ultimate, if you don't have the immunity on, he puts neurotoxin on everybody and it drops your health by 80%. 80%. So it's basically a death sentence. You can't survive it. That's why you want tons of units that hit multiple targets. Mercedes always hits multiple targets. Ball always hits multiple targets. Kana always hits multiple targets. Cecilia, with the exception of her S1, always hits multiple targets. And that's what makes this team so stable and clean. Now let's talk about substitutions. I'm not going to go over a substitution for Mercedes. Everybody has got Mercedes. It's legitimately impossible to not have her on your account. So just go build her. Just go build her, slap 6 pieces of gear on her. You're not using her anywhere else. She doesn't take amazing gear. Just use her. Let's talk about a replacement for Bomb Model Kana. If you don't have Bomb Model Kana, or more importantly, if you don't have Bloodstone, because Kana does not work without Bloodstone in this. If you don't have Bloodstone or Kana, then you want to run Mascot Hazel in her place. Mascot Hazel will give attack buffs to the whole team, will help stay ahead of the healing. It's a stronger heal than Bloodstone, and because of the greater attack buff and the constant attack spamming, she is still a full clear. It's not as fast of a full clear, but it's still a full clear with Mascot Hazel. And as for Fire Cecilia, There is a world where you can run Victorica, stupid name. Is where we can run Victorica, but Victorica's AI is a dumbass. Victorica's AI uses her S2 first, and then you eat a bunch of poison. So you kind of have to start it on manual, use her S3 first to give everybody immunity, and then press auto. Also, Victorica takes hits really heckin' hard. You have to really ramp up the bulk on her to have her survive. She doesn't give the self barriers that Cecilia gives, and she doesn't give the attack down that Cecilia gives. She does have a 50% defense break on her S1, but she doesn't have the attack down on her S2. So you're going to be taking hits harder. You're going to be taking them without barrier protection. So she is going to need a lot more stats and bulk than Cecilia to survive this fight, but you can use her. In addition, you can use Fire Lilius. She works pretty good, has a cleanse built into her that can help get rid of all the poisons, and the dual attacks are nice as well. You can run Fire Ross, although he is not quite as good. The strip is nice on his S1, but in a pinch he does work. That's about it for your front row placements. Now the one you guys want to replace. I don't want to build Ball and Cezanne. I get it. Nobody likes the guy. He is still best in slot. But if you don't have him or you don't want him, you just want an alternative that can hit AoE. The best alternative is probably Fire Tenebria. Fire Tenebria also has defense breaks. 2 of her skills are AoE, so all you're missing is the multi-target S1. You can put her on
Obey me. Obey me. Fall away.
Magnificent.
I'm brain farting on it. What's that stupid artifact called? You can put her on Etika Scepter. Oh my god. And still get the extra pushes out of her. She works just fine. You could also run any AoE unit from Kayron to Vildred to Champion Zerato, anybody that does multi-hits so you can keep spamming the neurotoxin. But those 2 are your best in slot. But there you go, guys. 1 turn entry, full clear, all by yourself. Don't have to rely on anybody else to get your stuff done. Clean and consistent. I don't think I've ever had a fail with this team built out like this. 1.8 million. Even if you aren't built as strong as I am, you will still get a high enough score that it's just going to be a little sliver of health left, and somebody's going to come in and finish it for you. Now let's move on, talk about the Dark team. I'm going to go with a very free-to-play friendly team on this. All right, so this is the team. Everybody's got Brieg by the time you're done with the Adventurer's Path. Everyone's got Tam by the time you're done with their connection. Everyone should have Commander Lorena. I'll go over an alternate if you're one of the 6 people out there who doesn't have her specialty change done or doesn't want to build her. There are alternatives. And Fene, the queen of PvE. If you don't have her, you are using a selector ticket on her. That's just all there is to it. Unless you want to hobble your account, one of your selector tickets is to get Fene. You can go with a fully decked out selector if you want her to be super strong, but as you can see, I've only got 10 mullet in her. She doesn't need a fully decked out one if you want to save those for, you know, DPS PvP units instead that do need the plus 15. But let's go over the team a bit by bit. First is going to be Tamarin. Now my Tamarin is overbuilt, so don't look at these stats and freak out. You only need 85% effectiveness. You only need 100 effect resistance. This is kitted out to deal with Nightmare Raid, and she's going to get a permanent change at the end of this month with Nightmare Raid likely going away. You want her as fast as you can get. The faster the better, because the more Tam cycles, the easier it is to stay alive, the more you're going to push your team. I'd run her faster if I could, but you know what? Anything over 210 speed I think is sufficient. Put the rest into bulk. So those are your requirements. 100 effective resistance, 85 effectiveness, and as much speed and a little bit of bulk as you can get. Magahara's Tome is by far and away the best artifact for her. Don't fall for the MLM of putting Prophetic Candlestick on there. The extra turn cycling off per hit is nothing compared to how fast she will cycle herself on Magahara's Tome. She's loaded with non-attack skills and pushes. Mag's Tome is the way. Next, we're going to talk about Brieg. Brieg, you need to build very specifically. You need him to be slower than 180 speed. I'm not kidding. If you go faster than 180 speed, you will have to manual the start of the fight. But if he's slower than 180, you can do this thing on full auto. And that's such a nice quality of life to not have to manual the start of your expos. I put him on the Sword of Azera artifact to help keep him alive. You can get this in the Hall of Trials shop. If you don't have Sword of Azera, try Proof of Valor. But I do think you're going to want one of those two artifacts on him unless you can build him way tankier than mine. You know, if you build 25k health and I don't know 1700 defense, you can maybe go ahead and get away from this, but I needed this to keep him alive reliably. Every once in a while he would just die. The pen set is not necessary. I do like him to have a little bit of crit. He gives himself plenty of effectiveness. I think you only need 35 effectiveness because he gets a 50 bonus effectiveness when he does his S3. So you only need 35 effectiveness to get that 85 to stick his defense breaks. And that's it. He is just here as our defense break spammer and our frontline knight to take shots. Next, we'll talk about Commander Lorena. Mine is a little overhorsed for this, but I put her on a rage set. If you can go rage pen, even better. Destruction set works just fine. Attack set works just fine. Whatever it takes to get the damage. Mine, even for a rage set, these stats are not all that. I'm sure you could probably build something a little stronger, but if you can't, that's fine. This will still work. Just make sure she hits like a truck. I've got her on the Our Beautiful Seasons artifact. You can run her on anything from a Symbol of Unity to a Strawberry Cake one to any artifact that boosts damage. You could put her on Sigurd's Scythe and probably get away with that. You could put her on Golden Rose. Any of those artifacts would work fine. The one thing that will not work is Daydream Joker. Daydream Joker, it looks like it's working. You're going to attack. You'll see the words Daydream Joker pop up. That's because the artifact works, the effect goes through, and then the boss ignores it. It's a real deceptive thing. Daydream Joker does nothing for you in this. It looks like it's popping off, but try it with Daydream Joker and then try it with no artifact. You're going to basically see the same damage, just ever so slightly different because of the stats on Daydream Joker does not work in any expedition. Anybody that tells you different, it's full of crap. All right, so that's just her. Just damage, and more damage. That's all she needs. She doesn't need speed because she self-CR pushes. And last is going to be the Queen Fene. Fene, I put her on a Rage Torrent set just because if I felt it would be fun, it lets her hit like a truck. She goes even harder. She's an HP scaler, so stack as much HP as you can on her. I know Torrent set seems a little counterintuitive, but hey, you know what? A buck's a buck. She works just fine on a Destro set, an HP set, whatever you need to build her to get the damage on there. Middling speed, or speed's not that important. Everybody's going to get pushed around plenty. I've got her on Victorious Flag for extra damage and a little bit of inbound extra mitigation. Pretty much any Fene is going to work in this. They all hit really heckin' hard. And that's it. That's the whole team. We will talk about alternatives when we get in. Once again, we got Tom Cruise hanging out here as our guardian because I just feel bad that he's not on any other teams. Let's jump in, do this fight, and then we'll discuss alternatives as we go through it. It feels weird even talking about alternatives, but here, see this right here. Do you notice that? Now Brieg does a non-attack skill and electrocution goes away. That is why you want the 180 speed on Brieg. You see these electrocution symbols? Let me pull these up here. These little electrocution symbols over their head. After they take a turn, you take pop damage. And they are around forever. But they dispel if you use a non-attack skill. So if Brieg is faster than 180, he uses his non-attack before the boss takes a turn, puts a defense break on the boss, and now he doesn't have a non-attack skill anymore. And worse yet, when the boss takes his first turn, he self-cleanses, so you don't get to keep the defense break in the slow. So having Brieg slower than 180 speed makes sure that the Gigantus goes first, then Brieg self-cleanse the electrocution, then he applies the slow, then he applies the defense break. So you get to keep these sick buffs at the start of the fight, and you're not wearing another round of electrocution. Fene and Lorena have no way to get rid of electrocution. 3 units wearing electrocution is hard to survive. 2 and you'll be fine. 2 and Tam and Fene can keep up with it. Tam's going to cleanse it next round when she does her S2. So it's only going to be these two wearing electrocution, and you can deal with that. But all three of these wearing electrocution, it might be hard to survive. So if your Brieg is faster than 180, you're going to have to manual the start of this fight to make sure he doesn't use his non-attack skill at the start. Now watch, Tam's going to use her non-attack skill. Watch the electrocution go away.
Go away.
That's right. Go away, electrocution. Okay, and now it's just a matter of dropping serious damage. Now people will say, oh, Brieg, anti-synergy with Fene, he keeps giving these barriers. You know, she's getting injury. It's fine. Yeah, she won't get the injury as fast, but she'll still get it. It's okay. You don't have to worry about Brieg's barriers too much. The more injury Fene gets, the more damage you're going to do. Now, alternatives. Alternative to Brieg would be, just use Brieg. Who doesn't have Brieg? For the love of God, just use Brieg. Tam, let me go tell you, just use Tam. You don't need a difference for Tam. Now, Lorena. There might be 5 or 6 of you out there who don't have Commander Lorena built. So if you need a replacement for Commander Lorena, there are 2 options that jump to mind. One, you probably expect, the other's going to surprise you. Option 1 to replace Commander Lorena is going to be Terranor Guard. Run him on a double Unity set and then maybe make his last set Pen or just crit chance, whatever it takes to give him the damage. The double Unity with everybody S1ing, he's going to push himself up push the whole team up quite a bit. He'll cycle, he'll spam defense breaks. He's actually freakishly good. The only reason I like Lorena a little bit better, she hits a little bit harder and there's less RNG. You're not relying on the dual attacks to get things done, but he is actually really, really, really good. The second one that people kind of forget is Yuna. And the reason for Yuna is her S2 skill is an attack buff and, more importantly, a speed buff. And a speed buff combined with the slow debuff of Brieg is wild on this. Now, it is hard to tune Yuna in slow. So you probably are going to have to start the fight on manual or start it with Yuna's skills off, let her S1, then once the Gigantus does his thing, you turn her skills back on so that she can do the non-attack skill and apply the speed buff on top of Brieg's attack speed down, and you will fly so fast that Fene alone is enough damage. And as for a replacement for Fene, the replacement for Fene is what I just said. You drop Fene and you put in Terranor Guard, or better yet, you put in Yuna. And you clear this super fast, super clean, and consistent. But everybody should pick up Fene, and Commander Lorena is pretty available. The only reason I would go with Terranor Guard over Yuna is simply because you don't have to manual the start of the fight. And there you go, guys. Clean, fast, efficient way to clear dark, and hopefully those alternate units gave you some ideas as well. Now, there are some other units. I'm sure people in the comment section are like, what about Landy? What about Luna? What? Yeah. Other damage dealers work, but these so far have been the best, most consistent units that I found in this fight. If you got a better formula out there, drop it in the comment section. I'm sure other people would love to hear it, but I think this is pretty free-to-play friendly as far as the units go. And as far as the gear goes, hey, if I'm gear gapping you, I'm gear gapping. I've been playing for 7 years, but that's okay. Your gear is half as good as mine. You still do over 1 million damage. Somebody else will pick it up for you. You set the stage, you set the ball, your guildmates will spike it. That's all you need, is just enough to get it done. All right, let's talk about the last one, guys. The Brutal Ferris. The Brutal Ferris is hilarious. The Brutal Ferris is everybody's favorite one to farm, and you legitimately can do it with just these 2 units. This is the most free-to-play option out there, right? Just Brieg and Fene. They can literally 2-man it. You'll need really good gear, but they can do it. Everything else is about making this faster. Now, one of my favorite combinations was Fene and Camilla. I feature that in previous fights. Camilla gives the attack buff to Commander Lorena, and then you leave Camilla's skills on. She attack buffs herself and Lorena, and then you start dual attacking. It's crazy. But I'm gonna give you an option here that, just because it's new, literally any 2 units, Tamarin and Luna, Luna and Lorena, Camilla and Luna, Camilla and Lorena, whatever combo you want, they're just there to speed this along. Heck, you could even put in Fire Mercedes for an attack buff and Bomb Model Kana for a speed buff and go nuts. That would work too. You got slow, attack buff, speed down, and then Fene to run people over. There are so many options for this fight, but I decided to do something a little bit fun. I said, let's see what the new girl can do. Now, is she best in slot? I don't know, but she was running wild for me. And then, because I mentioned her last round, and I just want to show you how good it is to have a speed buff and a speed down on the same fight, how fast it makes it. We're going to run this. Buckle up. This is going to be fun. Okay, same stats on Brieg. Brieg does not need to be this bulky. He does for the Dark Expedition, but for the Light Expeditions is way overkill. So once again, 85% effectiveness. He gets 50 built into his debuffing skills. You only need 35 effectiveness. 85% crits more than enough because we're going to fire. A little bit of speed. Speed doesn't really matter here, but he needs to be 180 or slower for the Dark Expo. And, you know, a little bit of bulk. He could be on any artifact, but I need this one for the Dark Expo. You pick this up in the Hall of Trials shop. We're going to talk about Fene's, the same Fene from the Dark Expedition. I went wild with mine because I thought it'd be fun to see how much damage she could do. You do not need this much damage on her. I mean, you could just run her on a speed set, an HP set. You could run her on Destro set. She could run on Pen or Torrent, whatever feels right to you guys. Just you do you. I've got her on Victorious Flag for some extra something damage when she does her stuff here. And Hua Young, it's a standard damage dealing Hua Young. I went ahead and swapped her out to Strawberry Cake. You can most certainly run her on her own artifact. We are overkilling extreme here. I just wanted to see how much damage she could do with a damage boosting artifact. I'll probably put her back on her cat summer photogenic artifact once I'm done with this video. I just wanted to try this out, see where we could go. And Yuna, that's right, it's Yuna. I put her on Prophetic Candlestick to help cycle her S2 a little bit more for better uptime on the speed down, or sorry, on the speed up and attack buff that she gets on her S2. Her, people forget, her S1 has got CR pushes in it. Her S3 actually hits pretty heckin' hard. Really good unit in Yuna. I built her with a lot of speed because I wanted her to cycle. I wanted her to get her S2 off a lot, and I didn't really care about anything else. I mean, she's got some damage, but it's not that big of a deal. She's great here. She's legitimately great. Let's go check it out. Okay, start of the fight. Yuna gives everyone an attack buff and a speed buff, which pisses off Hua Young. She kicks him in the face, which pushes up the back row, so Fene gets to go. And here we go with a big old S3. Now, unfortunately, we don't have a defense breaks up yet, so we're not seeing a lot of damage yet, but Fene gets to injure herself pretty heavily before Brieg's barriers go off, so that's going to make her damage even higher. Brieg's going to S2 with some barriers into an S3, and now look at the board. Look how beautiful it is. Defense break, slow debuff, and oh no, all of our buffs got stripped. It happens. It is what it is. But that's why we've got a fast Yuna on Candlesticks, so she will cycle very quickly and we'll be able to get those buffs right back in the blink of an eye. There's another S1. Giant orbital space panty laser. Check it. It's only one frame, but they're in there. Pretty good damage on that S3. Brieg reapplying the defense break and the slow debuff. I want you guys to look at the bars over the Ferris's head. That's how far down his CR bar we are. We're not even to the halfway point. And there's our attack buffs and our speed buffs back, activating Hua Young, pushing her to the front. Yuna gets an extra turn. Fene gets an extra shot. The injury is really stacking up on Fene. She's doing good damage now. 900k is the halfway point on this. Look how fast we're flying with the speed buff into the slow. Where's my defense break? This would be so much better with a defense break, guys. Here comes the defense break, and we're going to re-up that slow debuff. Nice. Orbital space panty laser. Blammo. And there we go. We've crossed the halfway point. 900k. Look at the HP bar over the Ferris. We're not even near the halfway point on the Ferris's HP bar. This is 1.1 million.
I can conquer them all.
Ow.
I love you. Stay with me. Were you waiting?
Okay, there's the attack buff and the speed buff is back. CR pushes from her S1. Those slow debuffs are a little bit disappointed, but it is what it is.
There's nothing more absurd.
1.6 million.
Move it.
1.7 million. Guys, I'm gonna pause it here just for a quick second. It's might kill, but look at that HP bar. We were still 2 turns away from the halfway point of the phase. We did a full clear at about the 33% mark. This team is so efficient, you could kill Ferris 3 times before the end of the fight. 3 times over you could kill him. It's how stupid fast and clean this is. That's the power of a speed buff on the team. And I think you might see why having Yuna on the team even makes the destructive Gigantus better, except for the annoyance if you got a manual the start of the fight or it kind of bricks everything. You need to make sure she does her S2 after the Gigantus attacks. But on the Brutal Ferris, there is no requirement whatsoever. So speed and attack and defense break and speed down, it's the full package, not to mention the CR pushes from Yuna. And man, it was fun to use Hua Young. She worked great here. Don't have Hua Young, that's fine. Put any DPS in Hua Young's spot. Put Luna in there. Put, you know, if you're going to run Commando Lorena, make sure she's got a little bit of bulk. You don't want her to die to a sneeze, but Commando Lorena, she would work in there. You could put Camilla in there because she's going to constantly have attack buffs from Yuna, so you can turn her skills off and just dual attack like crazy with Fene. There are so many options to put in that top spot other than Hua Young, but Hua Young, I think this might be my fastest team yet. So hopefully this helps you guys out, and hopefully those options give you the ability to custom tailor your team to what you really need to get expeditions done. This is the best place to farm your modification, your stat modification items, and also your reforge mats, so don't skimp on it. And last, let's talk about the Expedition Depot. People ask me, is this a good deal? Because it costs 1,500 Sky Stones. Yes, but no. For 1,500 Sky Stones, you get 3 extra gold stones. You get a whole pile of extra reforge mats, basically a set of each one. You get 3 Molagora, you get 3 mod boxes, and then a couple of charms. It's worth the 1,500, but only if you're sitting on thousands of Sky Stones. The epic passes are a better value, and there's lots of things coming after your Sky Stones lately, so this is wholly skippable. Just look at what it pays out and ask yourself, are 3 greater charms, are 300 manifestation stones, are 200 of each class type reforge mat that's currently up, are 3 gold stones, are 3 Molagora, are 3 selection chests? Is all of that worth? All of that, what I just described, if that was in a shop, in the shop for 1,500 Sky Stones, would you buy it? Because that's basically what you got to ask yourself is that worth the 1,500? So all I can tell you is, yes, the value per Sky Stone is there, but there are other things that are, if you could only spend 1,500 Sky Stones on this versus, like, say, the Epic Pass, well, you definitely get the Epic Pass. So make your own decision. Don't bleed yourself dry on Sky Stones, especially with all the limiteds that are heading our way over the next couple of months. You're going to want to have those Sky Stones to refresh the secret shop, to buy bookmarks, whatever it is you need to get all of the limiteds that are heading our way this summer. So that is it, guys. If you have any questions, ask them in the comment section. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and you guys have a great rest of your week. Take care, Epic 7.